Now, I start with a slide of a guy named Steve Prefontaine. Does anybody know who Steve Prefontaine is? Okay, the gentleman that is running the show in the back, who is Steve Prefontaine? Long distance runner. What era was he? 70s. Now, he was the rock star of distance running in the U.S. In fact, there's been 2 Hollywood movies on him, Without Limits and Prefontaine. He was my hero growing up. Now, the reason I put him as a backdrop is not because I'm an old track coach, but because he embodies what I believe about leadership, which is this is a teachable skill. If I didn't think it was teachable, there would be no reason to have the lecture on the discussion. We say, well, it's all genetic. And the reason that this is important is it's maybe not as so important in the U.S., but in many of the countries that I work and live in, they don't believe that. It's based upon title or who your daddy is. And so you have to get this grounded with people very quickly. Leadership is a teachable skill. Anybody in this room can be a better leader tomorrow than they are today. It's a matter of choice. And this was a guy that was born with one leg shorter than the other, a preemie baby, who the doctor told his mother and father, don't expect much athletic performance out of this guy. And he later came in 4th place in the 72 Olympics at 21 years old, which is very young for the 5,000. Was rated number 1 in the world going into the 76 Olympics and flipped his car in May of 75 in Oregon, died, and we'll never know what would have happened in the 76 Olympics. But he made the most out of very little talent through a tremendous amount of hard work and a belief that people can do anything. And he had an old saying, which is to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice a gift. The gift is what you've been given, whether you believe through your parents or by God, the skills and talents that you've been given. And certainly everybody in this room can become a great leader if you desire to be so and you make those kind of choices. Great leaders dream big, bold visions that are tangible and they understand. You know, I would always ask you to look at the vision that you have on your team and the vision you have in your company. Is that something that excites people? What I found is that numeric targets of growth or profit don't excite employees. They have to know that it's something bigger. You know, we spend, if you look at it, you know, you spend 24 hours a day in life every day. If you take out your sleep 7 or 8 hours, okay, you're basically down to 16 hours of waking time. If you take that 16 on an average day and say, how much do I work? It's the number 1 activity of your waking life. You spend more time here than you do with your kids. Do the math. On an average work day, every single person in this room spends more time here with your coworkers than you do with your own children and family. Now, I've always told my wife sleeping time is together time, and she says, no, it's not. I mean, all you do is lay there and snore. But, you know, if you look at it, that's the reality. People want to be inspired by something bigger, and one of the great roles of leaders is to inspire people. Look at the great visions out there and look at the tangibility of them to make something special. You know, and stay away from what I would call general language. Like, let's take one of my favorites, which is Singapore Airport. How many people here have been to Singapore Airport? Is that a great airport? Maybe. Do you know what their vision is? Their vision is not to have the best airport in the world. Their vision is to have an amazing experience, always under 30 minutes. And everything is set up that you're out of that airport in 30 minutes. The speed of the belts, the number of people at passport control, and the speed that they get your checked-in luggage. It's tangible and people can feel it. A lot of visions in in companies I see today, I do a lot of work on this with companies, is it's all this like mom and apple pie stuff. We're going to be the best at what we do. So what defines the best? Get some tangibility into it. Dream big, but get people excited. Step back and say, does that pump me up? The big test for me was, I would always do a video of my vision. I would show it to college students. If they all want to come and join, you've nailed it. If they don't want to join, you haven't nailed it. Do kids want to join the company? And they see it and they're all pumped up. Is it something that's got tangibility to it and brings people together? It's got a little bit of panache to it. Not just we're going to be the best or we're going to have record profits, especially in family businesses. I used to tell, Coca-Cola bottling Nigeria is 30% family business. I told them having a profit target is not even remotely exciting to any of these people because they're already saying everything we do enriches this famous Greek family. We put money in their pocket while we starve. Nobody wants to work for that. But when you say, we're going to become the first world-class Nigerian company, we're going to show the world what Nigeria can do, and you sit and you tell people, I'm sick of everything you hear about Nigeria is about scams. When you get those emails in your email that say, I'm living in Burkina Faso and I have $7 million. If you give me your information, I will deposit 10% of it in your bank account. That's all from Nigeria. And that's what everybody talks about in Nigeria. It's called 419, which is the criminal code for fraud. And I tell people, you're Nigerian, you're proud. The only thing people in the world talk about your country is fraud and corruption. Now let's show them something different. Let's make a world-class company that people say, wow, that's what a Nigerian company can do. Let's create it so it's so good that in other countries say, we need a great engineer on the packing line. They don't go to Mexico or to Germany. They say, let's get one of those Nigerians because they got the fastest production capacity output of anybody. Now that starts to get people pumped up. It's about national pride. It's not, we're going to have record profits year after year. When they say, yeah, all the profits go to the owners and we get nothing. Make sure that when you dream big, it touches your people and it pumps them up. Do things with passion or don't do them all. The ancient Greeks used to put on your tombstone, did this person have passion? That's all they worried about. And I think it's sad, especially for young people, they don't have any passion for what they do. And I always tell them, find what gives you passion and then go and do it. If you don't like what you're doing, quit. Life is short. Before you know it, you're moving on to something else. Passion's infectious. And it breeds in other people, and people pick up on it, and they say, wow, I'm being enthused, I'm enthused by this. We're emotional people. People join people follow people leave people stop following people. Passion is everything. Do what you love, and then you'll be passionate about it. I always tell people, always ask me all the time, how do you like what you do all these years? I say, I'm still just a coach. I just don't coach people to run although I still do coach. In fact, I'm the national coach of the Nigerian distance team. I'm going to the Olympics with the Nigerians. One of my marathoners made the Olympic team. But I'm still a coach at heart. That's all I do. And now I coach on different things, but sitting with young people and helping them get better and seeing them grow, seeing all those people that are now general managers in P&G today that, I was in Cincinnati last week, and, it warms my heart. A guy, I've been out of the company, I've been retired 3 years. A guy said to me, you should have been at the annual meetings in November. He said, one of our VPs stood up. It was a woman that used to work for me. And she said, before I start, I need to say this, that I owe everything in my career to Jim Lafferty. And he said, I needed to tell you that. And he said, I'll send you the video clip. And, this is your legacy, is people. Years from now, no one will remember your shares and your sales volume and all that, but your people will be your stamp.